Good morning, I hope everyone's well today. Thank you for watching, it is appreciated as always. I seen a article in the Telegraph today. Now I'm not going to read out the article specifically, I'm just going to give you the headline, which is Starmer is to seize control of the House of Lords after stuffing chamber with cronies. And it got me thinking about my favourite topic, or one of my geeky topics, which is constitutional reform, which is what I want to talk about here in relation to the House of Lords. Now, the House of Lords before 1997 was predominantly hereditary peers. And that's just the way it was. It was a holdover from feudal times, and it always existed, basically because we didn't really know what to do with it. I mean, me personally, I would take the hereditary peers every day of the week and twice on Sunday compared to what we've got now, which is essentially the Prime Minister can bus in whoever he chooses or she chooses into the House of Lords, and they are party political and they are loyal to their political party. If you look at the current makeup of the House of Lords, if you look here, the Tories have a slight majority in the House of Lords, so 282 to Labour's 210. This is going to be problematic, and this is going to be problematic for all of us. Because there's something, I believe it's called the Salisbury Convention, which is that the opposition, basically the House of Lords and the opposing parties, won't actually contest anything that's in the manifesto, meaning something the government has been elected on to deliver. However, all of the controversial policies that Starmer's been putting through, like the end-of-life bill, for example, or the farmers' tax, or the mansion tax, or the property tax on the elderly, the inheritance tax, the mansion tax, okay? All of these probably weren't in the manifesto, and that would give the House of Lords leverage and leeway to actually block and amend and tell the government to think again. They can basically delay things. That is the point of the House of Lords, to actually delay, get the government to think again, and get the government to redress some of the issues in the legislation. That is the primary function of the House of Lords. Many people misunderstand our Parliament. We don't have two branches of Parliament, we have three. We have the House of Lords, the House of Commons, and the monarch. That's like the icing on the cake, or the tree topper on your Christmas tree, to use a seasonal analogy. And they're all meant to play a part. What this does, if Keir Starmer does what I believe he's going to do, which is bus more of his cronies into the House of Lords, it creates a situation where the government will have unlimited power. At this point, it would be better to abolish the House of Lords, because if you've got a parliament that can't hold the government to account, if you've got a upper chamber that is doing exactly as instructed by the elected chamber, well, what's the point of the chamber? It's just there for ornamental purposes, surely. We need a second chamber. We've always needed a second chamber. Just look at the mess, what they got into in the Senate in Wales and Holyrood. They haven't got a second chamber. There's nobody watching the bills going through their parliaments, and that's why they get really, really, really poorly written and worded legislation. Now, a lot of people don't know this point, so I'm going to hammer this point home, which is why I'm so passionate about getting rid of any MP, whether that's a Lib Dem, a Labour, or a Tory MP, which is in what they would call a safe seat. There should be no safe seats in the United Kingdom, in any constituency. Every MP should be fighting for every single vote all of the time. That's not the system we've got, because if you look at this first picture I'm going to bring up now, this bint, Ellie Reeves, clue in the surname, do you think she's truly independent as a Labour MP? Or is she going to do what big sister Rachel wants her to do? Did she get in on her name? Did she get in because she's the little sister of Rachel Reeves? Did she get in because she's going to do what the Labour whips tell her to do? Or sorry, they don't have to tell her to do anything, she's going to do it all herself. And then you look at her husband. Alright, he's already in the House of Lords. What's his name? Let's have a look now. Let's just bring up this one here. John Robert Cryer, Baron Cryer, born 64. British politician, a member of the Labour Party, was previously a Member of Parliament for Hornchurch from 97 to 2005, so he's a Blairite. And he was the MP for Leighton and Wanstead from 2010 to 2024. Do you think he's there because he's going to hold the Labour government to account, or is he there to vote through whatever they say in the House of Lords? Alright? This is the issue. This is the cronyism this is the new elite. Now, people say, "Oh, well, Damien, Cheshire, they're elected." That might be true. That doesn't mean they are going to do what their constituents want. It means they're going to do what the party wants. This is why we need to smash the two-party system. And then you look at this guy here. People may know who he is. He was leader of the Labour Party in the early 90s. That's Neil Kinnock. Now, his legacy is Stephen Kinnock. And this is the cronyism, this is the modern hereditary peerages that we need to be mindful of in the United Kingdom. All of these cronies do their time as MPs, and then as a reward for being party loyal, they get bussed into the House of Lords. That's not democratic accountability in any way, shape or form. That's just rewarding people for being loyal to a political party. This is the uni-party rewarding itself. This is what we need to fight against. This is why I'm very outraged when you hear stories like this, where the Prime Minister has control of the monarch, he has control of the Lords, and he has control of the House of Commons. That should not be allowed. The constitutional reforms, should be put to a referendum. The lower house had no business removing the hereditary peers. Whether you agree with the principle of the hereditary peers or not is an aside, alright? The fact that the House of Commons can reform the upper chamber and get away with it all the time, this is the issue I've got. My personal formation for the House of Lords would be, I would stop the creation of new peers, so any new life peers would stop. If I was Prime Minister, you can dream. I would abolish it, and then basically eventually all of the peers that were created will die out. I would reinstate the hereditary peers, give them all their seats back, and I would replace the people that are going to be dying out with elected senators, alright? Or elected peers, and it'd be weighted to the 4 nations of the United Kingdom. You could get 50 from each country. So you'd have 50 from England, 50 from Wales, 50 from Northern Ireland, 50 from Scotland. And the fact that they elected would make it semi-democratic, which is much better than what we've got now. These are just my thoughts. What this does when Starmer brings this in, it gives him complete control of all 3 branches of Parliament. It gives him control of the Crown, it gives him control of the Commons, and it gives him control of the peers. We need to resist this, because at the moment we've got the House of Lords doing what they can to delay things, so things aren't getting as bad as quickly as if Keir gets his way with this. Now, you may think I'm overstating things, you may think I'm completely off base with this, but I think it's important. All 3 parts of the Parliament need scrutiny, not just the Commons, not just the Lords, and not just the monarch, all 3. And in addition to that, nobody's talking about this. Nobody's talking about the House of Lords because they think it doesn't matter. I beg to differ. Now, if you think we should keep both branches of Parliament, the Lords and the Commons, the 3 branches, and the monarch, let me know. Do you think Holyrood should be abolished? Do you think the Senate should be abolished, like me? Comment, like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Have a good day.